it's fitting that we're here today. Monday, we'll be filing an amended complaint in this lawsuit against the city of White Plains on the anniversary of Mr. Chamberlain's death. It's fitting that we're here in front of this building.
Hello.
This building,
Yes, sir.
where the men who came to Mr. Chamberlain's home, as Mr. Gadsden said, as thieves in the night, as common criminals, and broke into his home, this is where they were trained. This is where they received their instructions on how to kill someone in the dead of night in their home. Now let's be straight here. Mr. Chamberlain wasn't some axe-wielding black man in the streets of White Plains. He was in his home.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now, I heard somewhere that under our Constitution, your home is your castle.
Yeah.
And I have a right to defend my castle.
Yeah.
And anything he did that day was defending his castle. I don't care how humble it was, that was his castle.
Yes, sir.
I doubt very seriously that the officers here would have broken into someone else's home in this county who had a lot more money than Mr. Chamberlain did and took his door off the hinges and treated him the way he did. They did. Now, when Mayo and Ken Chamberlain first got involved in this matter, they didn't call this a race issue. But after they heard that tape, where the N-word is being used as a tactic to distract them, there's nothing else we can say, but race is at the center of this problem.
All right.
They wouldn't have treated a white person like they treated Ken Chamberlain. I'm sorry to say that, but I really believe that's what's at bottom here. You wouldn't call someone an ethnic slur, a religious slur, but you're willing to call a black man the N-word to distract him. Now, here's what I've got to say about White Plains. They have been engaging in a cover-up of this case from day one. The first cover-up started with a commissioner, Mr. Chong, who said before he heard anything, before he read any tapes, before he interviewed anyone, before there was an investigation, this killing was justified. Really? Let me say this, Mr. Chong. If they broke into your home and killed one of your family members, would you call that justified? I seriously doubt that. Second cover-up.
It's good.
Started right around the corner. When the district attorney of this county can say the killing of a man in his home is justified, that's a cover-up. See, we have a process here called the grand jury, where we go in some secret room, we don't know who's in the room with us, we don't know what evidence is presented, and then we come out and say the grand jury wouldn't indict. There was a sitting judge. He was the chief judge of the state of New York's highest court. And here's what he said about the grand jury. A DA, and I'm quoting him, can get a grand jury to indict a ham sandwich.
That's right.
That's the second cover-up. The third cover-up came from the city officials themselves when they said, we're going to have a full investigation of this matter. So they produced a report from some so-called experts. And what did their experts say? Well, we thought this was going to be an exhaustive analysis of what went wrong in Ken Chamberlain's home that night when these cops came and killed him in cold blood. 2 pages of 187 page report. 2 pages. Not one word, not one use, not one mention that they used the N-word, that they cursed at him. That's the third cover-up. The fourth cover-up came just the other day. You see, the judge ordered us to produce transcripts of the tapes. So the city produced theirs first. And we went through it, and I found it fascinating that the N-word is not mentioned anywhere. They say unintelligible. Really? So we listened to it, and we counted at least, and I can't use the words that I had to write in that transcript, but at least 10 MF, F this, F that, These are the words they're using as police officers. Now let me get this straight. So where do you learn that? What department teaches you to curse at civilians? Was that part of who you are? You see, part of the problem is we hire these people to protect us, so they say, but we don't really know who they are. And they didn't know they were being recorded.
All right.
So the fact that they would use these racial expletive deleteds against a man who's in his home, that shows you their mentality.
Right.
There's a sickness in this department. There's a sickness here. And we're here as lawyers, as advocates, as activists to carve out this cancer.
Go ahead.
Because it's rottening this
That's
department.
right.
And it's not just Ken Chamberlain's father who has suffered this. There were other people in this county, in this very city, who are being policed by this department and subjected to brutality, to racial slurs. There is a problem here in White Plains. That's why we have called on the United States Department of Justice to conduct an investigation into the killing of Ken Chamberlain's father and into police practices here in White Plains. We've met with the U.S. Attorney's Office on one occasion, been in communication with them. They have opened up an investigation.
All right.
Now, as one of the ministers said, one of the activists said, these things take time. And I know, it ain't easy to be patient. But the road to justice, the journey to justice isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. We're on a long journey. And what we've committed to Ken Chamberlain family is that we will walk this walk with him to the very end. And at the end of the day, at the end of the road, there will be justice for this family.
All right.
All right.